Hi everyone, and welcome to the Tarot Circle. I'm Ally, and it's the 22nd and the 23rd of October 2024 today. And we are four tarot readers who pull cards on stuff, on world issues and lots of different things. And today we're going to pull on a few scary things as we're coming up to Halloween. And my lovely, my precious. and we that was awful.
I liked how you did that.
And we try and bring the truth to you as far as we can, because there's not much truth in the world these days, is there? So we are, let me introduce my co-hosts. We've got Lynn, Barbara and Kaila. Ladies, how are we doing? What's happening in the world? Anything to report?
All good here.
Where did Barbara
Virginia.
go? There she is.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
all good
all
here.
good.
We had a few days of warmer weather and going
Yep.
back to a little bit more chilly, so
good.
good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little bit chilly and windy here today. We've got a typhoon coming in, so I don't know
Oh
what's
no.
gonna happen there. I don't think it's gonna be big, but who knows.
And all good here in Florida. Like there's, whooping coughs and stuff going around, and I had laryngitis for it. It tried to get me, but it,
Oh,
I
no.
I
didn't.
heard that there was a load of stuff going around in the UK as well. I don't know if they're spraying the bejesus out of the place quite probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tried to get me, but it didn't. It tried to.
Yeah.
I was
You
fighting. I was like,
beat them.
Good.
And if you like our style, please like, share, subscribe, and comment. And we are on YouTube, we're on Rumble, and we really appreciate any effort that you can give to grow a little channel. And we've also got a Facebook community page as well, and I'll put all the links for those below. And before we start on all our questions, let's do some clearing. Let's clear some energy out. Let's make sure that everything is feeling nice and squishy today. Kaila, over to you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. For today's energy clearing, we call on God, our ancestors, angels and spirit guides, our higher selves, and energy and frequencies of beings working for our highest good only to be present with us. We ask for your continued guidance and protection. Help us to see what we need to see, speak what we need to speak, and help us to serve our highest divine purpose easily and readily. We ask that protection be placed over all of us, our listeners, and the earth right now, as we all work to shift the energy to a more positive future. Only energy of the highest godly and divine frequency is welcome here. Everything else must leave now. Over to you, Lynn.
Can you hear Lynn?
No, we can't hear you, Lynn.
Oh,
Now we can hear you.
Yeah.
now?
Now, yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear the bowls? Can you hear the bowls?
Try now, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we can hear you now, yeah.
Computer, sorry, gang.
It's okay.
Okay. Still not hearing you, though. Not hearing the bowls.
Oh.
All right, we're gonna have to skip the bowls. I'm gonna
Maybe
have
if
to
you
figure
hit
out what's
it,
going on with the mic.
when you hit the bowls like that, we can hear it. When you hit it
Yeah.
like that. Okay, now.
When you speak, we can hear them.
Yeah, when you speak, try talking. Talk and hit it.
Okay, what do you want to know?
You see, we can hear it now when you talk. Yeah.
That's all right. We'll just, you got your sage, Barbara, sage us, and I'll have to figure out. I have a new laptop, so I have to figure out the microphone. Sorry, everybody, for the malfunction.
Oh, you have a new laptop. Okay, well,
That's okay.
I got the Palo sound to this time, so
Oh,
not
okay.
even sage. So I must have known
Nice.
that it wasn't going to come through. So I got the
You
Palo
go,
sound.
Bob. You go.
I gave Sage a break. There you go. All right.
All right.
Then
So
you got you got your Christmas tree. Is that a Christmas tree?
Lynn's Halloween tree.
Hmm.
So today we
And I
are
have my
going to.
Halloween hat.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm a little bit dark today. I'm a little bit
It looks
darker
like
than
you could use.
normal.
It looks like you could use this hat though.
I
with
I
that
think
hat.
I
Oh yeah,
could.
it will
I
go
think I
well
could. If you can just pass it to me, please, Barb.
through the
That'd be great.
portal.
I'm gonna wear this on Halloween because they actually called me to do tarot cards on Halloween. You
Oh,
know, I mean,
cool.
Oh, that's cool.
I like the fact that they called me to do tarot cards, but it's kind of like a party type Halloween, kind of like an what do you call it? It goes deeper than that for me, for us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a gimmick. It's
Yeah,
a
but
game or something. Oh yeah, let's
yeah,
have a cocktail. Let's have a cocktail and have our cards read. It's kind of
yeah,
like it. I'll do
Right.
it because it's fun and I really want to
yeah,
give insight to people, but it just seems like it's a little. I'm not taken too seriously, you know. I'd like to be
yeah,
taken more
Okay.
seriously than. But anyway, hey, it's a gig.
yeah, yeah.
I gotta pay
And
bills, so
and you might help people on the way, you know.
Yeah.
exactly.
So yeah. So the first thing that we're going to do today, now I'm gonna start this off by saying this is not made to offend any fans or family or anything like that, but we are going to look into the recent death of Liam Payne, the One Direction member, because the situation surrounding his death to me sounds a little bit fishy. So this is what we know. So he was in Argentina. He was applying for a US visa, and he was seeing his bandmate play, and he was attending a wedding, and he was having a holiday at the same time. And apparently that the trip took a little bit longer because the US embassy was saying, hey, you have a history of drink and drugs, and so we have to test you. So he had to get tested, and that's why it was all taking a little bit longer than we thought. So that's the interesting kind of backstory on and everybody knows, you know, from his past girlfriends and band members and things like that, that he has had a bit of a drink and drugs problem in the past. And his girlfriend went home like a couple of days before he died, and he then checked into the Casa Sur hotel in Buenos Aires, and apparently he was meeting and signing autographs with fans just hours before his death, and then it was reported, so the first thing that we heard, that he died, it was just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. He fell from his third floor room onto the deck below. And that was all we knew. And then the next day, pictures were posted of his room. It had drug paraphernalia everywhere, a smashed TV screen. It had, alcohol and things like that everywhere. And then the hotel remarked that he was smashing his laptop in the lobby, and then they took him back to his room. And then the next that they knew, there was a loud sound as he hit the deck at 5 o'clock.
Well, let me interrupt you here.
Mm-hmm.
They said that they saw him convulsing or something, but they took him to the room anyway.
Yes. So there was all that weird stuff that was happening. So he obviously wasn't particularly well, but they still just popped him back in his room. So the next day or the day after, it was then later revealed that there were escorts with him, as in prostitutes, and they left at. There's some reports that say 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's some reports that say 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Considering that he apparently died like at 5 o'clock. And apparently there was a bit of an argument about money. This is what the hotel was saying between Liam and the escorts. And the escorts have said that there was just alcohol and no drugs involved. So if you think that they left at 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, that's not a big time window to get off your face on drugs in like an hour or so. So there's that time window. And then it also came out that he had a friend in the area, and the friend brought him some chocolate cookies, and he was negotiating with the hotel staff because the hotel staff weren't happy that he was kicking up in the lobby, and he was saying, oh, it's okay, he's a good guy, and he was helping him get back to the room. Now, what happened to this friend, I have no idea. I don't know if there's been more information come out about that, but think about that. If your friend's obviously, you know, smashing his laptop up, convulsing in the lobby, and they take him back to his room, if you were his friend, you wouldn't just leave him. You know, you would stay with him or make sure he was okay. You know, you wouldn't just go, all right, see you, bye. So lots of questions around that friend. You know, was a friend bringing drugs? Was the you know, I don't know, there's some weird things happening. And then someone in the hotel remarked that they heard lots of people going in and out of his room, and there was a big noise, a big scream about 4:45, and then the next thing that they knew that that Liam had jumped or fallen or whatever. So there's lots and lots of question marks here, and apparently he fell on his head, and apparently he wasn't fully conscious because he had no marks on his hands, because apparently if you fall, you're going to try and protect yourself, right? So apparently he wasn't conscious at the time that he fell. So lots of questions around this. There's people that are saying, you know, it was just drink and drugs and he was just psychotic and off his head. Oh, the other thing is apparently his record label dropped him a couple of days before. His ex-girlfriend was had a cease and desist order out for him because apparently he kept harassing his ex-girlfriend and the family and all that kind of thing. So that was happening as well. That's a little bit of background. So you can understand that he might, with a history of drink and drugs, he might have you know, had all this happening, and then that might have just flipped him over the edge. That's completely plausible. But there's all this other stuff going on, like with the escorts and the friend, that doesn't really make sense to me. So we've got that option. We've got the option that there's foul play in there, that you know, someone, you know, maybe he was thrown, maybe someone, you know, got him so fucked up that he didn't know what the hell was happening and brought these drugs in. Or the third option is that he was he's in witness protection, because he obviously knew P. Diddy. There are videos of him talking about when he met him that he thought he was really evil. There's also, I think on his Snapchat a few days before he passed, him dressed up as Forrest Gump and saying that he was going to dress up as Forrest Gump on Halloween. And for those of you in the know, we know about Forrest Gump, and you know, Wilson, the hand mark on the ball, you know, that's all linked to frazzle drip and all this sorts of things. So yeah, there's lots of question marks happening here. So should we pull cards on what on earth is happening? How do we want to word this? Do we want to word do we want to look at an overview, or do we want to ask a question, has he actually passed? And then we can go from there. You're muted, Lynn.
Yeah, just do an overview of what happened around his death. It'll show whether he's here or not. It should anyway. Yeah.
Who wants to pull on this? Who feels drawn? All right, Barb.
I will pull. Just a general look around it.
Yeah, have a look around the general thing. Has anyone else seen or heard any more information around all of this? Oh, the other thing that happened was Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell. That's a completely different person. Simon Cowell. He was the one on X Factor who actually set up One Direction, and he stepped down from Britain's Got Talent, which is like a similar kind of X Factor show.
It's like we got it, America's Got Talent. I think all the different countries do.
Yeah. And he stepped down from that. And I completely understand that you know, he would be very sad about this and didn't feel like he could carry on, and that's fine. But people are also hinting that Simon Cowell has got stuff to do with
He's England's Diddy.
yeah.
Mm.
And there's a picture of him at one of these, looks like one of those spirit cooking type party things. So he's definitely got his fingers in some dodgy
That's
pies,
a
I would
whole other
imagine.
poll.
Oh God. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And Simon Cowell looks completely different these days as well. I mean, he's supposed to have all these fillers and all this fucked up. He doesn't even look like the same person,
No,
does
the
he?
cheekbones and the eyes are way
Yeah.
too different.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not even a good duplicate.
No. No.
It's
yeah,
about
so
as good as the Biden double.
I just don't understand about the this whole thing with this guy. I mean, I didn't really know him before the whole thing came out.
no, I mean,
Yeah, I have no
I mean,
idea.
I heard about I mean, I knew about the other singer that got more famous than all of the rest of them. I forget what his name, and my nieces and
Harry
nephews like him.
Styles.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
like him, and I like some of his songs too.
Yeah.
But I mean, no cameras. I mean, every
At the
hotel has
hotel,
cameras.
yeah, every hotel, they all
Oh,
do.
yeah, that was the other thing. So
Yeah.
the hotel cameras were not functioning an hour before he passed.
Oh, conveniently,
Oh.
right?
Conveniently.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean,
Come on now.
that
Mhm.
alone says something fishy. Right, so how would you read this, Bob?
Yeah, I said just a general looker around this situation that they're talking about that he's in. So basically, he comes out as the son,
Mm.
and what happened to him comes out as the devil, and you see the magician under the devil. So that just with these three major arcana, well, there's four major arcana, so it's a big deal. This whole thing that went on with him, it's a
Yeah.
really big deal. It's nothing that just you pass up like that, but it's a big deal. And it just makes me feel that, okay, maybe he was in a good mood and he was unexpecting something to happen, but what happened is something awful and violent. And with the magician under it, it makes me, someone forced a hand. And the chariot is the chariot comes in fast and furious and bold. So maybe he was a little bold, and didn't really feel that something like this could happen, maybe. What do you all see here? I'm not going to go through all the cards, that way I give you all a chance to.
I see with the magician next to the devil is that obviously, part of the movie, it's an engineered, if it wasn't there, I would say that he definitely passed, but it makes me think that it's been made to look like really bad stuff has happened, but maybe not. And with that Five of Pentacles in the middle, he's having to do something that he didn't want to do. He's had to forego his normal kind of life and everything. I mean,
How
with
would you read the Ten of Pentacles?
yeah, I'm just thinking about that, because this can be family, this can be social media, this can be a lot of things, right?
Generational wealth.
I wonder if something's going to come out in the future that's going to be very interesting, and I'm thinking more on the social media line. And of course, with that Four of Pentacles, there's some hidden stuff happening there, isn't there? There's stuff that are not being told to us. And what have we got clarifying? Knight of Cups, Six of Pentacles, and the Ace of Swords.
Yeah, the Six of Pentacles is something that works itself out. And the Knight of Cups is someone that goes with their heart, or someone that bringing a message towards you. So it looks like something's going to be worked out in some type of way. And the Ace of Swords is truth and a certainty. But you know, it doesn't, when I look at these, it doesn't necessarily mean that he's gone, but it just, there's something that didn't happen, or it was, you know, they made like it did happen, but it was probably, it was something that's not positive, because look, he's really young, he has a career, so he just got to disappear. Either he has to like really leave the earth plane, or he has to disappear. So that's the devil right there. It comes up as something that is awful, that you just really don't want to get into or do. But with the magician underneath.
Well, you've got the thing about, you know, so many people have come forward about P. Diddy and all this sort of thing. So you do wonder whether, you know, that's why we've got the devil in the situation card. Sorry, Barb, I cut you off. Sorry, go on.
Oh, no, I want to see what Lynn and Kaila have to say about it.
Yeah.
Lynn,
Kaila?
I have to be honest and say that I did read on this recently, and the cards that I got had a lot of deception in it. I used the Lenormand cards, and I did a 9-card pull to get like a storyline. I did not get a chance to like sit with it enough, but what came across clearly to me, and I'm seeing this with the devil, I'm seeing some repeating cards, even because I did do a quick Kachina knife pull with this deck too. I'm seeing the Sun, I'm seeing the Ace of Swords, you know, and also that 6 of Pentacles keeps coming up. What I'm seeing here is I think this Sun card has something to do with it. In my Lenormand pull, that the Child card also came up. And what I'm getting from this is, for some reason, he was in the know, or had something, or had some choices to make. And he was not exactly, he had to make quick decisions. Whatever happened, there was betrayal, there was whatever we're being told is not what it actually is, with the Magician card and the Devil card here. Things happened differently, so there's a lot of deception. With the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, and him smashing that computer and so on, I'm not sure. Is it to do with information? Is it things that he knew?
Yeah, I feel the Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck, that ultimately the truth, this is going to be part of the truth coming out, and I don't know how at the moment, but
it's coming down the pipe.
yeah. Lynn?
What do you say, Lynn? What you got?
I really like your pumpkin jumper, by the way.
No, it's skeletons.
I like, well,
Skeleton.
it's orange for pumpkins and skeletons.
yes,
I mean, it covers
yes.
all bases.
Yes,
It does. It does.
You know, the Sun, with the reference to Littles, I mean, he might have even been brought up in all of this, you know, because so many of them are brought up
he was kind of young,
set these
right?
roles.
Yeah.
And then he may have been trying to run, you know, go away from it. The 5 of Pentacles, and the devil came up with him. So it's still a part of the movie. There's something hidden. I mean, we don't know the whole story. There's something fishy. And I think without pulling a whole bunch more cards, this could probably be a whole show on all kinds of different, you know, what ifs and whatnots. And really, honestly, I mean, when you even said it, what did I say? Who is he? I didn't even know.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of the group before, and that other guy that's really got Harry
Styles. Well, it's really interesting as well, isn't it? And people have kind of talked about this on Twitter. Is that Harry Styles is the more famous one, and if you've seen the way he's been dressing like in dresses and makeup and all of that sort of thing. Whenever you've seen pictures of Liam Payne, he looks like he's dressed in a suit, you know, he looks very manly, you know, he's not kind of going down that androgynous kind of trans kind of route that Harry has kind of gone
Harry's
gone
sold
down.
his soul. We know when
Ye-
they're wearing the
Yeah.
dresses, that's usually a signal that they've signed the paperwork.
And it's
You gotta
really
take a look at those hips if he has, because I've seen some pictures of Harry, and he looks like he had some wide hips under those long
he
shorts.
yeah.
So I gotta take a look at him.
And what was I going to say? Yeah, and it's interesting that his record company dropped him, because
Yeah.
there's no way your record company would drop you if you had sold your soul, right? And just regarding the children stuff, when One Direction started up, he was 16.
Yeah, they were all
So
young,
you
weren't
can
they?
just imagine, the sort of stuff that happened, especially this was about the time as well of the P. Diddy parties, and I don't know whether he was, involved in them from a very young age, but it probably goes on in the UK as well.
Hey, Barbara, have you shuffled your deck?
No, I actually pulled 2 more cards.
Go on.
What did you pull and ask?
I didn't ask anything. I just wanted to know more about what we got.
Oh, what'd you get?
I got the 6 of Cups
Mm.
and a Death card.
Okay.
So some type of relationship going through a change or ending,
Yep.
or an agreement ending. And so I ended agreement.
So can you pull 2 more and see if this was really in reference to Diddy?
Ooh. I got a soft yes.
You got a soft yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And check that out. So there's a
Yeah,
relationship
so the
there.
agreement. All right. Well, pull 2 more and see if it had anything to do with Simon Cowell, who was the manager of One Direction.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah. It was about both. It was more about Simon, I would say, than it was about Diddy, but they're trying to make it look like Diddy. Yep.
All right.
Mm.
But
Oh.
you guys are seeing from this spread that he's not passed, that he's
Nah, it doesn't look like him.
yeah.
I mean, if the
necessarily
sun
has.
comes up, it doesn't look like somebody passed
Yeah.
away. The sun
Right,
is like
right.
full of health, full of
Yeah.
joy, full of passion, and that's how
Yeah.
he comes up as the sun. But the devil happened to him though,
Yeah.
and
Oh, yeah.
There was
Yeah.
forced a hand.
there was definitely, I mean, something not great. I mean, I pulled cards on this myself. I think it was the day after, and the main spread didn't look like he'd passed at all, and then the clarifiers looked like he'd passed, if you see what I mean. So
Yeah.
I mean, this kind of backs up that as well. So
I did
I
some
think
pulls, and it showed that he had some type of psychological problems or something going on, mental or psychological, something going on there. I don't know if he's depressed or he's on some type of pills. A lot of those young people, they're on stuff.
They put him. Yeah, they put him on pills and stuff. Yeah, to keep them controlled.
It's like the acceptable norm in those groups, right? To be in those circles. But with the Five of Pentacles in the middle there, it's like if he chose to be on the outside for some reason, like he wasn't going along with something, maybe I don't know what it was.
Yeah. Well, I think we know what that was. He wasn't prepared to sell his soul, perhaps.
And he was probably prepared to maybe hide
To
too,
do
because he
something
kept
else,
saying in
whatever it is.
a lot of his interviews, he was saying that he couldn't. He's just surprised that he's still here. So I'm surprised I'm still here. He's surprised. I was like, well, I guess he's going to be leaving soon, and I guess he did.
And also, if you know that that's going to happen, you're going to kind of do stuff, probably for years before. I don't know, years, months, weeks. I don't know how this thing works, but I know for sure that people do get taken into witness protection. And you would kind of prep the way so it looks more plausible. That's what you'd do, right? So I don't know, but I think that we've not heard the last of this, and I think he will
There's
make
more
a
to it.
reappearance. Yeah.
What did Janine get?
She got that he was passed, but there was someone else involved in it. But I definitely didn't get that when I pulled, but I don't know. I don't
I
know.
pulled and it just showed they had a lot of psychological stuff going on. It didn't show me anything else.
Mm.
If I remember
Psychological
correctly,
games, yeah.
in my Kachina knife pull, I remember getting the Four of Cups in the past. And I know they're talking about a lot of substances, but it seems as if it was given to him. At least that's what I got from the cards. It was given to him rather than he took it on his
Taking
own.
it
And I
on.
know there's a lot of that kind of thing that happens in those
Especially at the
settings.
parties. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm.
All right. Interesting, curiouser and curiouser. All right. Do we want to pull on why he was going to dress up as Forrest Gump on Halloween, or have we
I think we've done.
We've done.
We've
Okay, all
gotten
right.
20 minutes into him. So
Okay.
if we get too many more questions you want to pull on, girl,
Yeah,
come on.
well, we could be here
Yeah,
for a while.
I mean, I don't have a problem with it, but we don't have to take a picture and put it up there. We just shuffle and pull a couple of cards. I mean, you do a 2-card pull if you want to. I mean, if you really
No,
want.
It's
You want me to do it?
fine.
You want me? You sure? Okay, because
Yeah,
I could do a
it's
2-card pull.
It's fine. It's fine.
All
I
right.
mean, I think we've got the understanding
We've
that he's
invested enough time.
involved in some stuff that's probably not so
We've invested enough time
great.
in that guy. I mean,
Yeah.
not unless he starts paying my bills or something like that, then I'll give him some more time. But honey, we giving him enough time.
All right. So next up, we've got the US election coming in. How many days? How many days is it? It's not that
It's
far.
actually 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today.
Okay. All right. So just around the corner. So lots of people have pulled on, what's going to happen. This keeps changing every 5 minutes. But let's pull on how the American people are going to be feeling after the election. And we'll take it from after the election until Christmas. So say 6th of November up until Christmas. Kaila is already shuffling. That's good.
I figured I'm not American, so
yeah.
I should just go ahead and pull.
Yeah, do it.
Go for it. Go for it.
What's the latest on the election stuff? I heard that Trump was ahead in the polls, but I'm not sure if that's
I'm hearing
the official
everything.
ones.
I'm hearing she's ahead. I'm hearing he's ahead.
I mean, you don't know what to believe as far as polls go. Polls are so stupid. I mean, sometimes they'll show Kamala ahead. Who cares? You know?
I know. I saw like 40-something%, and it was so close to Trump the other day.
Yeah, it was
I'm like,
ridiculous.
oh,
It was like
please.
within 2% or something like that. There's no way. I mean, it's the
Like,
same
who's
BS
believing
they
that?
pulled with Biden. So,
Wasn't he
Yeah.
live in wasn't he live in North Carolina last night? I watched it on YouTube that it was
yeah, I
CNN
think
was
so.
giving it live.
I didn't watch it. Yeah. And prior to that, he was in Georgia, I think.
I watched
Yeah.
a few minutes of it, and it was funny because in the chat, it's like they were all Kamala people. I was like, I thought he was gonna, I was gonna see all the Trump people in chat. There were a few that would, comment, but it was full of Kamala.
That's
and
probably
of course they were saying,
bots. That's probably bots. Probably no way it's her.
Yeah, it was funny to see that.
He's been doing a lot with Elon Musk, right, as well, and I just don't know what to make of all of that.
But that
What
Elon
do you
Musk,
guys
I mean,
think?
Elon Musk,
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Elon.
Like I said, I mean a name Musk. But where is he really from? Where's he really from?
South
He's
Africa.
South African.
South African.
And is Musk a South African name?
Musk is
Well,
deer
South
sweat, right?
Africans aren't they mostly from the
Finland?
Netherlands and stuff anyway? The Dutch,
Yeah.
didn't the Dutch settle that?
The
So,
Dutch and
the Dutch.
Germans are big in
Yeah.
as the white
I don't know,
part of South Africa.
but he was really laughing on that stage the other day.
All right, so the question was, how would the Americans be feeling from the 6th of November
Yes.
to the run up to Christmas, right?
Christmas, yeah. So the American people will be the Hanged Man, and the Queen of Cups will be how they'll be feeling.
Oh. How do you see that? We've got the Two of Swords in the background.
So we're at a crossroad. Things are a bit at a standstill, and everybody's waiting to see what's going to happen. I think people are being enlightened right now, as to what's really, I think more and more people are waking up. We have the Knight of Cups here. People are speaking up a bit more. And then we have the Queen of Cups and we have the King of Cups. So there's going to be some sort of emotional disappointment. I think they're going to have some sort of upsetting, something balancing a lot of emotions with that King of Cups just below. In the middle, we have the Magician. So a lot of things are still a little bit up in the air, I think. Part of the movie still playing itself out. In the outcome, we have the King of Wands. That's interesting. So,
Do you think the
think
election actually happens?
We'll have to.
Well, two more,
Be- because if you've got the Hanged Man, you know, that's kind of a waiting
Like a
card.
stalemate.
You've got the Two of Swords in the background. I mean, that can be kind of on hold. The Magician, I mean, that could be anything, right? In the middle there. Any kind of
that's
jiggery
illusions right
pokery.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Illusions on,
Pokery.
and it's right under the Two of Swords. So there's some type of illusion or some type of under the table type thing going on, and what we're waiting for this that holds it up probably. Looks like there's gonna be with the Hangman and the Two of Swords, those are hold up cards.
And that could be exactly like everybody's saying, no matter who is proclaimed the winner on the November 5th, the other is going to contest it. So I think that's probably the Two of Swords. Did you get 2 clarifiers, Kaila, on if it's going to happen? Did you pull?
I can do it now.
If this election's going to happen.
So we have the Five of Swords and the Knight of Swords. This is the first one.
Still fighting over it a little bit.
So swords are thoughts and words too. So they're thoughts and words and at odds. Five of Swords is at odds. So at odds, so there's going to be some information coming out about there's some truths coming out that's going to put people at odds.
Unexpected news.
Yeah, and that's what
the
I think
military
with the Page of Swords
too.
as well.
Could be the military.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it could be the military that makes the announcement, but there's something coming through, some information coming out to put people at odds. It's going to make people feel like that five of Swords that didn't kind of been duped a little bit.
I think with all of these cards, we could probably pull cards on what's going to happen with the election every day until it happens, and we will get different story because I think so much of it's up in the air.
Yeah,
that's true.
Because basically, we're just reading what's going on right now.
Right.
But I think it's interesting with the Nine of Cups. I mean, that's a wish come true card. So I mean, I guess the overall situation will turn out well
in the long run. In the long run, somebody's going to be happy, but we don't know who that is.
But I mean, you by you saying it's going to turn out well, for which side? One side is going to.
Yeah, we'd have to put cards on that.
So everything, an election's always going to turn out well for one side or the.
So in order for us to have an idea of that Nine of Cups, we have to do another round of cards and pull cards. What does that Nine of Cups would be? You know, what's come true for who? And I know in the cards you can't see who's, which parties, but you can get an idea of what,
Yeah.
But I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, I think it's just wait and see. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
don't want to know that right now anyway.
With the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups there as the advice cards, it's sort of saying there seems to be some sort of obstacle coming up with that mountain he's approaching. But it's telling us to stay in our heart space and weather the storm, so to speak, just balance yourself through it all. Stay in your, divine spiritual side with that King of Wands. There's a lot of things that are going to happen that are going to seem a lot with that 10 of Wands. So a lot of overdoing things that we're going to see from, who knows, maybe both sides. So I think we're just going to have to see what happens. As you said, things are kind of changing every day.
Yeah, and the Page of Swords, is a lot of times our gossip and innuendo. So, we're going to have to use our discernment for what we're seeing too coming out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So let's talk about Halloween.
Hey, Halloween.
So Halloween was originally. Stick your hat back on. Halloween was originally based on the Celtic festival of Samhain, which was basically the halfway house between the autumn equinox and the winter solstice. And it was basically kind of like a Thanksgiving-y kind of, you know, thanking the pagan gods and what else did they say? I can't remember what I said now.
The veil thinning, where your deceased relatives could come visit. I know in other places
Yeah.
they said where the fairies could come, and
Yeah.
the veil was sort of lifted on that
Yeah.
day, evening.
And often people would set another table
dinner plate.
setting, yeah, for their
Deceased.
kin, and they'd also go from door to door trying to get food, so that's a bit like trick or treating.
That's a little trick or treating, yeah.
And it's also based
That's
on
exactly what it is.
All Saints Day, which was on the 1st of November. So and yeah, the 2nd of November is All Souls Day. So yeah, as Lynn said, you know, apparently like the veil is thinner and we can see spirits and things a little bit more at this time. So the question that we have is it how did we go from the Samhain festival to scary costumes and, you know, being a real kind of commercial thing? Is it the bad guys kind of flipping the festival? I think, should we just have that as a question? Is it the bad guys flipping the Samhain festival, or is there something else that we need to know? Lynn,
Just do a general poll. You want to do just like a general, like, how did Halloween flip from? How do you want to ask the question?
Was it just for fun, or was it designed for more nefarious kind of purposes? How about that?
I'm going to ask basically, what can they tell us about the origins of Halloween in America? How's that?
Yep.
Kind of have an idea. How's that work?
That sounds good to me.
What else happened in Samhain? So yeah, you can see like there's lots of different roots of Halloween in Samhain, and also we've got the Day of the Dead in Mexico, which is on the 1st of November.
Then All Saints Day for the Catholics is
yeah.
first. I think they're sharing all those days, you know, the 1st and the 2nd. All Saints Day, the Day of the Dead, you know, it's a Catholic thing, I believe. Because a lot of Latinos are Catholics. Many.
Yeah, and if you look at the Day of the Dead, that's often like skeleton, obviously Day of the Dead, you know, there's skeletons and things like that happening. So that's probably had a massive influence in the Halloween costumes and traditions and things.
Yeah, I always thought they took it and kind of flipped everything. Like a lot of stuff is done. Like, for example, even with Christmas. Okay, they say that I gotta be careful when I talk about Christmas and the day that Christ was born, because some people say it was the 25th of December, and some it wasn't the 25th. It was in April. But even the day has been taken and been capitalized on it, you know.
Commercialized, yeah.
Commercializing, exactly.
Yeah.
And selling stuff. But if you really think about it, huh?
I thought that Jesus was supposed to be born on the 11th of September, which is why
there's been that, but there's been definitely that he was more of a summer baby, I think, because of where the North Star, I mean, you know, we'll probably never really know, right?
No. And was he actually a person or just a allegory.
Well, I hear that he was actually a real person, and some people say he wasn't the only type of, I guess you can call him a prophet. I don't want to offend anybody out there, but they a type of person that can do miracles. There was a few of them that they were out there, so it wasn't that some say there was more than one.
We're
Jesus.
all supposed to have those powers, but people got so far away from it that he brought the Christ consciousness back. So.
Right. So what was the question in your head, Lynn? Just remind us again.
Kind of like general information about Halloween in America, how it got started. So we have the Two of Swords, the Judgment, the Knight of Swords, with the King of Cups, and then what have I got? The Hierophant down at the bottom. So there's some interesting cards here.
And then you've got
it looks like the dark side definitely took it and twisted it.
And you got the Eight of Wands and the Eight of Cups. Two eights. Interesting.
Yep.
Like I was saying, I says if we pulled on this, I wouldn't be surprised if that Hierophant came up.
Well, and look at the clarifiers. You got the High Priestess and the Moon too. So I mean, I think and the Two of Swords to me kind of almost looks like it is a combination of the Samhain and the All Saints or whatever, and they just literally twisted it around.
And look at the card just below it. Is that the Hierophant?
Yeah.
And it's like kids coming to the door. So
exactly.
Trick or treat. Even the cats down there trying to get some.
Way. Yeah, you're luring kids to your house in a different way, with not good intentions.
Yep.
Oh, and then look at this Judgment card. I mean, this is a different deck, right? So it's supposed to be like this, where All Saints Day, it's like you're looking at your ancestors or you're paying attention to spirit or whatever. That's what it's supposed to be.
Where the veil is lifted and you can see. Yeah.
It's supposed to be a day of soul searching with that Eight of Cups just below. And instead, they have flipped it. They've used it and drawn a lot of attention to it to commercialize it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's not surprising. That's what we were saying before.
Yeah.
It's exactly
What's also interesting, you've got two eights there. So 8 on October. So Oct is 8. So but October's the 10th month.
10th month.
So what does
that's
that
even
say?
twisting the calendar around. Yeah. Well, just like we know New Year's Eve is not really supposed to be in the middle of winter. Why would we be celebrating a new year in the middle of the dead of winter as opposed to not in spring when everything is supposed to be coming, right?
So if you think about it, September should really be the 7th month. October should be the 8th month. So maybe we're starting January in the wrong month.
Well, there's probably supposed to be 13 months too. 28-day month, not a 30 or 31.
That's a whole different
rabbit hole.
So September is the 7th one. If you go back, what would be the first month? If you go back 6 months, what would be the first month?
April.
So April would probably be the first.
I think it's.
I
think they said. I think what it was is that April Fools was technically the old original New Year's, but they made it April Fools just so people wouldn't even, they would just think the day was a joke, which makes sense.
And April is the month where many Christians, many say that was the real month that Christ was really born. Hence, Easter and that stuff. So that could have been the first month, and that would take us up to September, which would be the 7th month, Sept, and Oct, 11th month. And actually, November is Nov, that's 9 in Latin or Italian to Latin. That would be the 9th month. It's kind of mixed up, isn't it?
Yep.
November would be the 9th month. September would be the 7th month. October would be the 8th month. We have to do a whole video on that one.
It's quite obvious,
anyway.
Right?
Anyway, it looks like the dark side twisted, and twisted it in the Americas. So
and just for the record, December is 10. DIC.
DC. That's
that would be the 10th month, not the 12th month. Anyway. So it looks like this has been kind of switched and flipped to Halloween.
Yep.
Yeah, and look at the moon card at the bottom of the deck. We have the moon card, we have the high priestess.
High priestess,
Yeah, which can
Queen of
Yeah.
Swords.
good or
And
it can
the
be rather shady too. So it's become
Which
like a
one?
costume party, the high priestess.
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that Queen of Wands is like a costume party now,
priestess.
you know.
Yeah. I thought that was I thought that was the high priestess, the Queen of Swords when I first looked at
Oh.
it.
Queen of Swords. Yeah, no, the High Priestess is right here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See
I
it.
know. I have to expand
She's
it on my
got
phone to
the
read.
dark and white, lighter columns kind of still somewhat resembling there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That's nice deck.
So
That's my
Yes.
witch's deck.
Oh
It's
wow, it's nice. I
lovely.
love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
so on the Halloween subject again, let's ask about scary Halloween films. And obviously not all scary films are about Halloween, but a question that we want to ask is, are the Halloween scary films, are they just for louche purposes, i.e. to create fear in us so that the dark ones can feed off our fearful energy? Or is it are they based on real events that might be kind of predictive programming, like stuff that's happening in the tunnels? Or is it just fun because some people like to be scared and it's fun?
Yeah, well, we know some of them are supposed to be based on true stories too.
So let me ask all of that. What's the deal with these scary films? Does anybody like scary films?
I
I
used
used to
to.
love them.
Too. I used
I
to when I
used
was
to.
younger.
I used to love the
I won't
Not
go
slashers
near
anymore.
them
too.
now.
I used to love the slasher ones I for
Yeah.
lunch. I'd have my lunch break and then take my lunch and love the slasher, just wipe all that, all that blood flash and everything. But I stopped watching it.
Me
A friend
too.
of mine said back then, he says, if you find if it triggers you in some way and you feel like it's bringing up like enthusiasm in you or adrenaline, there's something within you that you may want to fix, he said. I remember that. And I was like, well, what do I have? I just like it, but there's something going on there. Because why would somebody like to see somebody being slashed, stuff like that?
Yeah, this is it. Well, it is.
Yeah,
And
the slasher ones, I like the more, I mean, granted, they used to get gruesome, but I liked the real scary. And like I said, the ones that used to always get to me were the ones where it was somebody that was really
psychological
mentally
ones.
the ones that were mentally unstable or from another realm or something that in my heart I always knew could be real. And those were the ones that always, like what
It
was
was
the one
intriguing. Yeah.
yeah, what was the one where the guy with Pinhead? Wasn't that just kind of like an all-out slasher one? I never watched that one.
I never watched that one, but those psychological ones that have a thin line between reality, like something that can really happen, those mess with your mind. Those are muck up your mind, So
those were the ones.
mucks.
Those were the ones that I liked.
Right.
Yeah, those are scary. I did,
but yeah,
I don't deal with any of those anymore. I barely watch thrillers now, like a thriller, like a police thriller. I don't do that stuff.
So
what was the question?
The question is just a look around the scary films. Is it based? Is it just for fun? Is it predictive programming about things that we can expect to know in the future? Is it just for the dark ones to feed off our louche and our fear? I mean, with the 8 of Swords in the background, we're definitely doing this to ourselves, obviously, because we don't have to watch these films. There's a strategy there, isn't there? With that,
yeah, and that 3 of Cups
Swords.
kind of reminds me of the substance.
Exactly, the party type substance. Chariot.
Excuse me.
We've got 2 major arcanas in the main spread and one on the bottom of the deck and one in the clarifiers. So it's a fairly important question, I think.
I think that star sometimes, Ally, is sometimes it means like being vulnerable too. So when we watch those
Yes.
movies,
Yeah,
it makes
that
us
we're vulnerable.
it makes us vulnerable and almost
Mhm.
debilitates us a little bit, like that Eight
Yeah.
of Swords. And if you all notice, there's an Eight of Swords in this pull, and there's an Eight of Swords in the last pull that we got about Halloween. Remember?
Yeah.
And there was eight
Mhm.
of swords. So it's almost like if you can debilitate somebody in some type of way, it's easy to kind of control
Mhm.
them. So it is a sort of strategy with that Seven of Swords right there.
Yeah.
And they do it successfully with that. See
Yeah.
the Six
With the
of,
6 of
Yeah.
Wands underneath it. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
and that
Yep.
the Three of Cups too. So yeah.
Do you think when you say makes you vulnerable for demonic attachments, or
Could be. Yeah.
because it's interesting that it's
Because you're lowering your vibration.
I
So
was
that's
just
going to
about to
open you
say the
up to
same
everything.
thing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
100%. How would you read that it's aspected with the Six of Wands and the Page of Pentacles? Because the Six of Wands is that more of a victory for the dark ones, to make us vulnerable, or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
With
think
it
so.
being underneath the 7 of Swords. Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah.
The way Barbara was
Yeah.
reading it. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
They're very good at doing it. They're very
And
good at doing
the
it.
page of Pentacles, it was just a source of money, I guess, too, as well as the substance.
Mhm.
It's not a huge money maker for them, I don't think, because we know all the stuff that they do underground is more of a money maker for them. But
Mhm.
and I
But
mean, you've got the
it's very
magician.
celebrated. They're
Yeah,
celebrated too, because that
Yep.
Three
Mhm.
of Cups is like, yeah, they're really successful and celebrate. If you get the Six of Wands and the Three of Cups in one pull, that
Look,
means that
there's
you're
a
really
there's
good
a
at what you're
pumpkin down
doing.
here, is that a pumpkin in the corner too?
Yes. Yes.
You see how you notice certain things at certain
Yep.
questions, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Certain times.
Yeah,
So
I don't
what
think
y'all
I've ever remember seeing that pumpkin there.
what what would y'all say about the Four of Swords, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Knight of Swords?
I think things are going to change.
I think
on this.
the White Hats are turning it around.
Mm,
Yeah.
Maybe they'll put
Yeah.
it so much in our face that people will start kind of loathing Halloween, or maybe just like Janine said a couple of years ago, people will start back just giving pumpkins to each other and eating
Yep.
together and that type of the autumn celebrations, that type of
Back
thing,
to a
instead of
Samhain celebration. Yeah.
mm,
instead of slashers and scary. What
Yeah.
maybe
And
they'll tell us something that'll just put us off. Who knows?
and
right.
and and
Sorry,
and,
Ally.
and what I think is that there's going to be so much horrible stuff that will come out
Yeah.
that is real, that we won't want to be
Yeah.
scared with all of this
Everybody's going to
fake
be
stuff.
turned off from these when they find out the
Yeah.
real stuff, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
read those clarifiers as just giving more information of the same thing. Have you ever looked at those horror movies and then at night you're in bed, it's like it's just playing over in your mind
Yeah.
and it's like lowering your vibration as you sleep.
Yeah.
So the Four of Swords is like you're asleep and it's planted these seeds of thoughts and words going over in your mind.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune is like flipping things. It's a way of flipping your energy. And then with the Knight of Swords, it's like bringing in, that negative, that, coming in, even
Bringing the
subconscious.
change in quicker. Yeah.
That's a cool way of reading that, Kaila.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool.
All right, on the scary stuff, let's ask about Ouija boards. Who's played with a Ouija board in the
I
past?
won't
know-
touch
I
one.
haven't.
Nope.
Yeah, me
I
either.
have.
Nope.
and it
I played
works.
Ouija board
It definitely
as
works.
a child,
Yeah.
as young children, and then I swore that either it was my brother or somebody that moved, but everybody denied it, so I never believed that. But I was still scared. But for some reason, there's certain things that look like that have the same information as a Ouija board, like the round pendulum thing or something like that. But there's something about the Ouija board that just
Yeah.
really. But I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to rule it out as people rule out tarot cards.
I think,
Yeah.
I think it can be good, but like Woo Woo Dude explained to me, people play with Ouija boards and they don't understand how they're supposed to put the protection around them before
Right.
and seal it back off when you're done with it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's not a just,
Yeah.
oh, we're done and leave it. He goes, because when you
It's
do
not a
that, that's
game.
when you you allow the other realms to come back in. You've left
Mhm.
essentially leaving the portal open, kind of more or less for
Right.
anything to come in.
And that's
So-
why I think a lot of people, they play with this stuff. Like if it's a game, like for example, that, you know,
Yeah,
we're gonna
exactly.
do tarot
Well,
cards on
they sell them
Halloween.
as board games. They sell the
They
Ouija
do.
boards as a board game. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Kids
that's just
too.
opening it
Mhm.
up to people to
Yeah.
do it all wrong, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's unfair in the sense that where, you know, people just play with it and don't know how to really seal it up or really use it to for their
And how
benefit.
serious it
Or
is. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's somewhat like I said, it's almost like somebody calling me to do tarot cards on
It could-
Halloween.
yeah,
I mean, I
I'm
do
sure,
tarot cards on
I'm sure
Halloween,
it's a
but
divinity. I'm sure it's a divinity tool, but because, you know, I don't know how to use it, I don't want to touch it.
Yeah, because you have to be
Yeah.
aware of who are you calling in, right? What
Yes.
energy are
Yeah.
you calling in and
Mhm.
connecting to?
So
Yeah.
and it's quite as quiet as it's kept, there's a lot of people that would say the same thing about tarot cards. I have
Mm.
someone that tells me the
Yeah.
same thing about
Mm.
tarot
Oh
cards.
yeah.
Same thing.
Mhm.
Same
Yeah.
thing.
Yep.
So should we ask, should we actually be using a Ouija board at all? Is it a bad idea?
Is it a
good
divinity
idea?
tool?
Yeah.
It's,
Who,
I mean,
who wants
it
to
could
pull on
be a
that?
good divinity tool that they've turned around so we won't use it, so we're afraid to use it.
Yeah.
You know?
True.
That's the thing. The only thing is that I don't really like, I mean, I could see me, you know, with a pendulum like this, and it's just a little thing. I don't have a board or anything like that. But I don't like the fact that I'm sitting around something and there's a lot of people, and then there's letters and they can spell us, and it apparently that thing moves by itself. I have one of those too.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got one of those too.
for the pendulum. Yeah.
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 I have a small
And
one
it looks
too,
like
yeah.
looks like it could be part of that, you know, the Ouija board has, if
It's
you
the
do it
The
same-
like
Ouija
it's the
board is
same thing.
placed. Yeah, the Ouija
Mm.
board is a different shape and it
It's
is
usually
meant
like a
for your hands.
semicircle,
Yeah,
isn't it?
so
But I mean, somebody could say, well, that's the same thing, you know, it's the same thing. But you know what? For me, it's not the same thing, and it depends on how you live a certain thing and
Yeah.
how you really feel it, how you really feel inside. But it's just that thing moving by itself, and they all said, no, I didn't move it. You moved it. No, you didn't move it. And I it just got really scary.
Yeah. And I
No.
think that's what's scary about the Ouija board, is that the glass does move. The glass does move on its own, and it's not people pushing it.
Right.
I've
And
never
And I
seen my
feel
tarot
like,
that's
cards.
what's weird.
I've never seen my tarot cards move by themselves.
right.
Never.
Yeah.
And anytime you connect to, you know, any other energy, and you put fear into it, that's what you're calling in. So, and
Mm.
Yeah.
there's a lot of fear around that board itself, you know, so.
yeah. Yeah.
Are you about to pull, Barb, on this?
Oh, okay, yeah, I could pull. What
Yeah.
should I?
So is it good? Is it bad? Should we leave it alone? What advice do the cards give to us about the Ouija board?
Just do a general pull on the Ouija
Yeah.
board?
What should we know about Ouija boards?
Yeah, what should you know about it? So the first card is going to represent the Ouija board and what it's about. And then the
Mhm.
rest of those going to follow suit.
Now, I have used a board, and I used it a couple of times with my ex-husband who had used it before, and we basically made our own board. And what was really weird, I remember once I asked in my head what meeting I'd been at that day, and it spelled out NOKIA, which was the Nokia meeting that I'd been in that day. And yeah, and some other stuff, other weird stuff. But I remember him saying to me that when he'd done it before, all sorts of weird shit would happen in the house afterwards. Like, I don't know, the kettle would start boiling on its own.
Well, yeah,
and
because you
all
left
sorts of
it
weird shit.
open. You probably didn't seal it off.
Yeah, I didn't see or feel anything weird happening after I used it, but after I knew that it worked, I was like, not really.
But you're going to be surprised when you see
because you
these cards.
you don't know who's telling you that information. You don't know if it's good, it's bad, or whatever. And this was a long time ago. I was maybe 25 years ago, so I was a bit less experienced in this kind of stuff.
And the thing is that the way we feel about the Ouija board, a lot of people that I
It's
know
gonna
feel the
bring
same
it.
things about
It's gonna bring it forward, yeah.
about the tarot
Mm.
card. They feel the same thing about the tarot cards. The Ouija
Mm.
board and tarot cards, they put a cross over it. So it's like, it's
Mm.
kind of like, it depends on who you are. I know someone that's I don't know her personally, but she comes on Coast to Coast Radio, and she swears by the Ouija board. She says everybody's got this wrong idea about it. My family has been using it for blah 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 blah, and Joe's
Yeah.
always like, I'm not gonna deal with no Ouija. I don't care how good you think it is. I'm not gonna touch the Ouija board.
Well,
That's
I
what
mean, I
Joe's
think
always said.
if you know how to use it, yeah, I agree with her, you know?
So
And-
this is, we got a general,
Yeah.
what we need to know about the Ouija board, we got justice. Justice
I
is
mean,
the major arcana.
it's fair and balanced. It can be used for either side, either way. It just
Yeah.
depends on how you want to work with it.
Just like tarot
And I
cards.
think, you know, like even with the Two of Pentacles in the background, you know, it could go either way. It's all in how you use it. And I think it's been gossip and innuendo that has made us afraid of it because we've never really learned how to use it properly.
That's probably what that lady was talking about on Coast to Coast.
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting with the Page of Cups and the Six of Swords? It's like it's going to help us in the future. There's going to be a positive surprise.
Yep.
So I think in the future it's going to have a whole different kind of connotation. Because we got the Four of Wands as the clarifier here. You've got the Empress. You know, there's no bad cards here, are there?
No.
The Queen of Wands, she's truth and integrity.
Yeah.
And woo.
And she's woo. Yeah.
That these cards really surprise. I mean, they surprise me, but they really don't.
Yeah. No, they don't. I think it's just, you know.
So basically, the Eight of Pentacles, you can use it.
It's
in
our
a
own
good way, or
ignorance
you can use it.
that's preventing us. Yeah, exactly.
So same
You
with
can
tarot
work with
cards.
it.
There's a process, you know, clearing, connecting properly, cleansing after, you know, but people don't do
Closing
that.
the ceremony.
Just,
Yeah.
and then it's a lot of people using the energy on that board, right? So and people who are not experienced too.
Yeah, and you probably got to clear that board out after everybody's touching it. You know, we all use our own tarot cards. We rarely share our tarot cards, but everybody in the world is using the Ouija board.
It's touching that,
That's
and
a
all at
lot
the
of
same
exchange
time.
of energies without cleaning them out and everything else.
Yeah, and all at the same time too.
Yeah.
And then they leave the meeting scared and in fear. So then now you're on a frequency where it's easy for anything to attach to you. Because you've left yourself open. And it doesn't even have to be that specific spirit they're connected to, just anything.
And also think about the films that have featured Ouija boards. You know, they're very scary. You know, nothing ever positive happens when there's a Ouija board in a film, right? It's always dark shit that comes through. So
Well,
and
that's
again,
what they do. They take, you know, what it is and kind of flip it to make people scared, just like they do with tarot cards, just like they do with tea leaves, and just like they do with pendulums and all types of. It's I think it's basically the same thing. But I'm programmed just like everybody else, because that Ouija board is like, I'm just programmed. So maybe one day when I'm older and wiser, I could probably give it a chance. But right now, I'm still kind of, you know, same thing that people say about the tarot cards. They say this, oh, well, Barbara, you know, we love you, Barbara, but, you know, those tarot cards, no, I don't want to, you know, a lot of people say, bring it on. But others people say, oh, no, I don't want to do that. So they have that same preconception that we have with the Ouija board as they do with the tarot cards. So it depends on what path you're on and what's
because
what
every
step,
tool
you know.
can be used for bad or good, right?
Or
So
good.
it depends. What is your intention?
Astrology, tarot, and we know they're used on both sides.
Halloween.
I actually have a cast iron pan that I use to make omelets. Now that I make nice omelets, they're delicious, but I can wipe somebody over the head with it though, right?
You could do
Heck
damage with that.
I got my cast iron pan. Heck yeah.
So it's just depends. You know what? When I first started doing tarot cards, I read on the Bible. I said, what is the Bible? Is it bad? Is it good? Is it what's going on with the Bible? What should I know about the Bible? This is like about 2 months after I started learning how to do did tarot cards. That's when Janine still had her
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 page on
channel.
YouTube.
Mm.
Yeah.
I got the Two of Pentacles. I got the opposite. I got the Sun and I got the Devil.
Yeah.
I got the
Yeah. I think there's a mixed bag of truth in the
Yeah.
exactly.
Bible. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, oh, it says, oh, so it could be used for good and bad. And a lot
Yep.
of people use it for good and bad.
Yeah.
So
All right. Should we do Lynn's 2-week poll?
all right.
Let's do that.
Let's see.
I had a quick look at this, which I thought was quite interesting. What's the bottom dice there? What does it say?
Maybe. It's a dollar sign,
oh,
heavy, and
okay.
maybe.
Oh, okay. All right, so we've got the Devil, we've got the Emperor, we've got the 9 of Swords, we've got the Moon, and we've got the 10 of Swords.
10 of Swords. Rolling the dice, you got a Magician, you got the Lovers, Superstition, and the Beach.
Well,
Yeah.
this is really crazy because usually when you do your 2-week polls, I usually get like, you know, like something to give us like a reference
Story.
on how to go about, no, something to have something, a reference on how to go about the next 2 weeks and how we should kind of navigate the whole
Yeah.
thing. But this time it looks like a message, at least to me, like an outing a little bit.
Yep.
And it's talking about letting us know about somebody, because like the dice, the Magician, the Devil is like individuals like consciously taking chances and putting everything on the line, like gambling something. And then and as they navigate that, it things to be like deceitful with with the Magician, so somebody could get bamboozled or duped. It's just really weird. And then the Emperor, now the Emperor is a leader and he is a positive and confident, but when he's with the Devil like that, it just makes me feel that with the Magician above him and the Devil to the left of him, that's like a presence of a malevolent male figure. I call it MMF.
That's interesting that you thought that.
Mhm.
Kyla and I were getting that this is kind of like almost like a crapshoot in the movie, and it's good and the bad fighting each other with those 4 cards.
Yeah.
But
I
that's a good point, Barb. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
I
many
hadn't thought
levels
about
at
it that
play,
way.
right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and then also it's also how you read it. I mean, that superstition and the moon is kind of like horror, and I know the card could mean something positive by itself, but together with the moon and the rest of the stuff in the spread, it's kind of like diabolical rituals. Because you see that what is that? The 9 of Swords or the 10 of Swords?
Mm-hmm.
9 and
The
10.
end
Yeah.
under the beach. You got the
Yeah,
9 and
it's
the
almost
10.
like it's almost like people being like tortured in luxurious places and stuff. It's just my mind just went there, maybe because it's Halloween or something like that. But the 10 of Swords
Maybe.
and the beach
See.
with all of that stuff reminds me of what's going on in the news too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And money.
Well, look, she's getting stung by all these bees.
She's
Look
had
at that hornet's nest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
She's had enough.
And she's
That's
Yeah.
even
young.
worse.
She's young.
Yeah.
Mm.
I just think with this spread there's going to be all sorts of shit going on.
Yeah.
Just all sorts.
I mean, look at that. Look at this
I
one.
guess I guess you
Yeah.
could almost say maybe this is our October surprise coming. Woohoo!
Yeah.
It could
It's
it's a
gonna
shit
be-
Definitely
show.
heavy energy with that. The dice says it all.
Yeah.
Heavy energy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
money can be involved. It could be burdening, but maybe you will get what you will get what
Reap
what
what you
was promised
sow.
to you if
Reap what you
you
sow. Yeah.
participate.
Mhm.
So that seems like a message. It doesn't seem like how we should navigate. It seems like
Yeah, sometimes it's not. It's what do we need to know? What do we need to look
Or
for?
what's
What do
coming.
you want
Yeah.
us to know? So yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean,
Just
I mean,
be
so our next meeting
prepared.
is gonna be, I think our next filming is actually the night of the US election. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
Oh,
that's true.
interesting. Interesting. We shall know a lot
Oh.
by then.
well, then watch out for that emperor surrounded by the Magician and the devil. There's that guy, a leader, like
I
a
mean,
force to be reckoned with.
and I don't think that would be Diddy either. I think that's somebody over, that almost sounds like a smooth 44 to me.
Mm.
Barry.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's surrounded by
or
those
Big
other cards
Mike,
right
I
there.
guess.
One of them, because that's a force to be reckoned with right there with those cards
Yeah.
surrounding him.
Yep.
Definitely
I believe,
high priest
yeah.
or something.
Yeah. That's an interesting way of reading that for sure, Barbara. I like that. Yeah.
Hmm.
The beach is the only thing that kind of seems out of the ordinary, except you got the moon, and then you got the beach, which is sun. And we know we're getting the solar flares and stuff like that too. I'm not sure if we're still getting hit more with those two. I don't know,
In this spread, it just makes me feel that whatever's going on in this spread is going on at probably nice places like the beach. Because look at that beach and look at that lady under the beach.
Yep.
I mean, come on, it's like, oh, that's what's really going on at that beautiful beach and those beautiful luxurious places. Not all luxurious places, but
Well,
anyway.
we know what we know.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's hidden underneath them, right?
Yeah. That's interesting. Is this these are different decks you have? Different decks, or is this the same? I mean, you have the mole came from one deck, right?
Yeah, all the top cards came from different decks, and then the tarot cards are from my witch tarot. My witch's garden.
What did y'all say? Maybe could be. What y'all think about that?
I think things are just up in the air about so many things at the moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it may be or may not be, right?
Kaila, do you remember what we were talking about with the money and heavy and maybe? We said something the other day.
I think we said that because you brought up the financial system, and it's like, I think what we got is it might affect some people and not others. So we continue to see things happen in different countries. So maybe that's a continuation of that.
Maybe that's what it was. And the lovers out of this Day of the Dead, our major arcana deck, difficult decisions or changes to come with regard to relationship, compromise, and growth in a relationship. Right.
Definitely looks like some heavy stuff happening in relationships. And I think what we also said about the dollar sign and the maybe is generally things look up in the air and, kind of shady with the moon card and so on. So always be prepared, put things in place, whatever that may be, case of whatever situation coming up, whether it be loss of electricity, whether it be, some natural disaster, some sort of, something happening in a country or whatever. Just keep your eyes open, be prepared in some way or the other, spiritually, even put your protection up and all of that.
Yeah, I think you're protecting your energy and your auras and everything right now is super, super important. But I mean, everything that's gone on with Helene and Milton and stuff like that, the hurricanes that have hit here in the States, for those of you that aren't in the States, preppers prep, homesteaders prep. But, when these flooding waters came through, they knocked out homes that might have been preppers, but then hopefully maybe some others that didn't, and then they'd had the extra food to help. And in North Carolina and Tennessee, you're seeing a lot of locals help locals. They're the ones that are reaching out and finding each other first. So yeah, I agree with Kaila, prep as much as you can. There's a homesteader that I follow, and she does like a 5-can challenge. She says, just every time you go to the store, grab 5 cans, soups, vegetables, fruits, whatever, just to put, and how many people do you have in your house? How many 5 cans do you need per person for how many days and stuff like that? She's not telling you to go out and buy everything, but if you do it every time you go to the store, you pick up 5 extra cans. And even if you don't end up needing it, you might be able to give it to someone who does need it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's good if you can,
others.
that's good if you can afford it and if you have space to do that. Because some people can afford it, but they don't have the space.
And that's what she says. Do what you can. Do what you can. It's her 5, because if you go to the dollar store, which is now $1.25, you can get cans for $1.25. Yes, some people's budgets still don't afford that, but it is an option, and it is always do what you can. Don't overextend yourself. We don't want you to overextend yourself, but
and we must always,
it's
sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say prep as best as you can if you are
Yeah.
capable of doing it.
And I think we just need to stress again the importance right now of the energy being so intense. And I think
Yeah.
our little sound clearing was probably a testament to that.
Yeah.
So I think now
Again, it wasn't my
it's-
throat chakra, but it was my sound bowls that
no,
didn't come
it's like I
through.
think we have all
And
in
my
our
Palo
own
Santo.
been
Yeah.
seeing like a little, like it's been a little bit harder. Like your regular rituals need to be doubled right now. I think there's
Yeah.
so many attacks happening and so on. So whatever you can do, if by chance you're unable to put away food and you don't have the resources, then double up on your spiritual protection, you know, connect, source, connect with your angels and guides and ask them to keep you, protect you, guide you, you know, and all of that. That's so important.
Connect with your
right now.
neighbors and stuff like that too, and find out, you know, sometimes you guys can work together, like me and my friend Crystal. We do a lot of stuff together and we make sure we know who's got what and everything else, you know,
Mhm.
so
Yeah,
so we can
especially
be
as we're going
prepared.
into the winter too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Barb,
That's
have you got a
awesome.
witchy song to sing us out
Oh,
with?
Ooh.
it's up to midnight. It's something evil lurking in the dark. Under the moon, it's just a thriller night. 'Cause I can feel you more than any ghost could ever dare to try. Thriller.
And she's got the head. She's got the head.
Yeah.
She's got it going on.
Got the head. I got the head and the head tonight.
I like it. I like it. Nice.
Really happy.
All
Happy
right.
Halloween to everybody that
Happy
celebrates
Halloween.
Yeah.
Happy Halloween. Happy next
Happy
2
Day of
weeks.
the Dead, All Souls Day,
All
whatever
Saints
you
Day.
celebrate.
And the other holiday too,
Samhain,
the
happy
Celtic.
Samhain. Happy Samhain.
Yeah.
Stay well, stay healthy, and don't let the
Bed bugs
bullshit
bite.
Bed
gets
bugs
you.
bite. I was thinking
Yeah.
the same thing.
All right, we will see you all in 2 weeks. Ta-ta!
Bye, everyone.
Ta-ta!
See ya.